It's no secret that gaming laptops have a long, storied history of sucking. Overpriced, overheating, underspec'd, underperforming. What started as a dream to give gamers portable desktop performance became, well, a meme. It's not that high quality gaming on the go is like a pipe dream. It's just that the juice has never really felt worth the squeeze. For decades, gaming laptops have been something of a joke, an overpriced luxury that don't even really do what you need them to. But there are brands, like Acer, who are looking to change that. With an i9 RTX 4060, 16 gigs of RAM, and a built-in 165Hz IPS display, Acer's Helios Neo 16 is the latest attempt at solving the age-old crisis that is portable PC gaming. So let's talk about the history of gaming laptops and how we got here. Okay, so before we get in the video, I must give a quick shout out to our friends over at Acer. Full disclosure, they sponsored this video, which means they sent us this laptop and paid us to tell you about it. Now, if you know anything about gaming laptops, it's that they're not generally liked. And there's a reason for that. There's a few, actually. You see, people have been trying to make portable computers since the mid-1970s. Of course, back then, portable meant something very different. They were very bulky, very heavy, like 50 pounds heavy, and by today's standards, very underspec'd. We're talking a 5 megahertz CPU. So, in other words, not very different from today's laptops. I'm kidding. Now, it goes without saying that these early portable PCs were built primarily for productivity. You could play games on something like the IBM 5100, the first ever portable computer, or the Osborne 1, which came out in '81, but they were very sparse and not really what the machines were intended for.
These machines cost at launch in 1975 between $9,000 and $20,000. And just before inflation is between $42,000 and $93,000 today. So these are not cheap machines.
We're talking universities had these real research. So this is not even, like you said, not even small businesses. So this wasn't doing word processing. This was literally just number crunching.
Back then, gamers didn't really have much need for portable computers. In fact, they didn't have much need for computers at all. Consoles like the Brown Box, Magnavox Odyssey, and the all too iconic Atari 2600 were cheaper, easier to use, and were built from the ground up for gaming. It wasn't until the 80s were well and truly underway and the need for portable PCs was rapidly evolving that we saw the emergence of so-called laptops. The Grid Compass was the first PC to actually open and close the way modern laptops do, thus making it the first true laptop, and was actually quite advanced for its time, to the point that it was used by NASA and Jamie Lee Curtis as a way to rizz up John Travolta. That said, it still wasn't really used for gaming, which is crazy because it was stylized as grid with the lowercase I, which, like, come on, camel casing that has like late 2000s cringy esports written all over it. These guys were way ahead of their time. Anyway, it wasn't until the groundbreakingly affordable Commodore 64 released in '82 that gaming started to move from consoles to PCs. What's funny is that the Commodore had a sister version, the SX64, the first portable computer to boast a color display, which was a luxurious 5 inches.
This is considered to be the very first color portable computer ever made, at least mass market. And as you can see here, it has a color television built into it. This is a 5-inch screen, and I gotta say, it's surprisingly clear. It looks fantastic in person.
Suffice it to say, the SX64 didn't sell particularly well. For gamers who were primarily playing at home, it just made sense to buy a regular desktop Commodore, which kind of set the tone for the rest of portable PC gaming history. In the 20 or so years that followed, the console wars waged on, and desktops became the domain for any and all serious PC gaming. Now, don't get me wrong, people dreamed of being able to game on the go. Like the San Antonio Spurs, who used to grind StarCraft in their hotel rooms and famously held a LAN party on a plane immediately after their championship win in 1999.
They're doing the slow kill on my camp.
Why don't you build some more stuff, Tim? You got plenty of money, build some more tanks and Goliaths.
Bro, if Tim Duncan was a Terran player, I'm gonna lose it. That'd be so based.
Are you kidding me?
But suffice it to say, the Spurs had the money to spend on underpowered laptops that the average gamer just wasn't interested in. Now, the gaming laptop arena started to change around 2002. Alienware released the first laptop branded for gaming, the Area 51M. It was sleek, looked like a spaceship, and boasted saliva-inducing specs: a 2.4 GHz Pentium 4, half a gig of RAM, and a Radeon 7500 GPU. It was also 9 pounds, had a ridiculously short battery life, like 2 hours on a full charge, and cost over $5,000 after you adjust for inflation. Now, to be fair, there's a reason for that. Figuring out how to shove all of this top-notch hardware into a smaller chassis has always required a boatload of R&D, which costs money. It's understandable that gaming laptops would be more expensive than a traditional desktop. The issue is that for a very long time, the exorbitant cost was rarely worth it. Since gaming laptops weren't easily upgraded, you'd have to make them super powerful. But that led to things like chronic overheating, unrectifiable battery hunger issues, and oh yeah, insane price points. At some point, it just became the common wisdom to basically never recommend a gaming laptop unless you just absolutely needed portability.
Do I really need that much power on the go? And I know what you're thinking, of course I do. What if I want to play games or edit video on the go? But are you really gonna do that though? Like, really?
But to be clear, that is sometimes the case. Like whether you're a university student or someone who travels a lot or lives abroad, you might genuinely want or need a gaming laptop. And over the last few years, some companies have really upped their game when it comes to making laptops that don't, well, suck. Companies like Acer, who sponsored this video and want us to help you get to know their newest offering, the Predator Helios Neo 16. This has an Intel Core i9 at its heart, an RTX 4060 driving 165Hz display, and 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. But it's not so much the power as it is where Acer opted to put it. You see, the processor is a laptop version of the i9, called the HX, which means it's great for CPU-bound titles like CS2 or Valorant. Meanwhile, the GPU is an overclockable NVIDIA 4060, which is a great card, but the baseline for serious GPUs. That said, the display boasts a high refresh rate and is a G-Sync compatible IPS with a 3 millisecond response time, which is perfect for esports grade gaming. It's also thin, has custom cooling, noise reduction, high-end Wi-Fi, and Ethernet connectivity, a 1TB SSD with a PCIe slot, HDMI, Thunderbolt, plenty of USB slots, AI features, a backlit RGB keyboard, and a 90-watt lithium-ion battery. Whew. So yeah, obviously gaming laptops have come a long way, and I don't think y'all need me to like bring in Colten or whatever to fawn about the specs and yap about technology or whatever. Like, I can, but...
And now, the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
No, Dimitri, I can. Man forgets this whole segment exists as a self-insert. Anyway, yes, those are some banger laptop specs, but it does bring up a point from earlier. Do you really need that much power on the go? 7 years ago when that dev video was made, no. College students especially. But things have changed pretty drastically since 2016. People are working, and studying for that matter, from home, or honestly, anywhere that isn't the normal. And let me tell you, I'm not lugging my PC around with me, so I need a powerful laptop if I want to get any of my work done when I'm not locked in my editing dungeon. But the Adobe suite isn't going to run on just any old laptop off the shelf. Let's be honest, it barely runs on most PCs. The quick and easy way for me to find something I could trust to handle my editing workload and give me the freedom to game on the go was to look for a gaming laptop. And judging by the increasing sales of laptops generally, as well as the gaming variety, it seems like I'm not the only one with a newfound need for some serious portable computing power. And thankfully, Acer are here to deliver. Even if you don't need the decked out Predator Helios Neo 16 they sent us, there's plenty of other options for you to get the hardware that actually fits your needs.
And that was the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
By focusing their attention on the right things, like the CPU and display, Acer have created a Predator gaming laptop that rivals a desktop build both in terms of price and power. And again, gaming laptops have come a long way. If you go to the store today, you're not really choosing from a selection of expensive machines that are gonna run like crap while burning your thighs. But for desktop super users, you aren't always going to find a perfect portable option either. Today's gaming laptops are closer to parity with their desktop older siblings, but closer is the operative word. There are still some pretty massive gaps, and poor design can only exacerbate those issues. You really don't want to be dealing with a machine that has low frames because of an underpowered CPU or a low refresh rate monitor that you can't easily swap out. Many of the specific issues with gaming laptops have been solved over the years, but the big picture stuff has proven a lot harder to deal with. The Predator Helios Neo 16 is built to solve the portable puzzle for you, the gamers out there. It packs power in the right places, and because of that, comes in at a killer price point. Did Acer sponsor this video? Yes. Do I still honestly think that in spite of that, the Predator Helios slaps? Yes. This is a gaming laptop that I would buy, which is the highest praise I can give it. Hell, even if I was just using it to play on the beach, it'd be worth it.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.